Steve Ballmer is out. We're not quite sure who's in yet at this point. If you had to look back at Steve Ballmer's tenure, what are three things that you think he did really well?
I think number one, he actually, survived the transition from Bill Gates. I mean, think about that one. How many times, when an icon steps down, who wants to be next? There are a whole bunch of, who followed Bear Bryant as the coach of Alabama? I have no idea, but it was probably just a year or two. He lost the job, and then who followed Vince Lombardi? All of these things. Following a legend is a really tough thing to do.
Oh, ask Cook at Apple.
Yeah, or ask who was it? The succession. John Scully and Michael, God, I forget, his name now, but there were the successors to Jobs the first time around. It's not easy to do. So I think one, the fact that he survived and put his imprint on the company, number one. Number two, the successful transition from a consumer company to an enterprise company. And, there are all sorts of pluses and minuses, that come along with that, but he certainly was able to transition the company's business model in a profound and interesting way, from selling consumer packaged software to licensed software generally to enterprises, and all the, benefits and stability and predictability that came along with that. And then three, we've all seen in the last couple of days the developers, kind of video ad nauseum, but like the guy or hate the guy, the man's passion was without equal, so that's amazing. And then, one thing people didn't see of him, and I didn't get to see it a lot, but I saw it a few times and heard it quite frequently. The guy had, Microsoft is a diverse and large business, and the man had a deep understanding of what was going on in that business. You go talk to mid-level product managers who do nothing but work on their product all day, and they'd go into a review with Ballmer, and he would inevitably find the hole in their business model, or he'd have better command of the numbers in their spreadsheet than they did. So the man had a remarkable grasp on a far-flung business, in a way that I've not heard talked of as other executives. So I think it's a guy who understood his business and had, a deep and abiding passion. I mean, how he's one of the, he's not as rich as Gates, but he's one of the, 100 richest guys in the world, and he works harder than you and me combined.
Those are some great points about Microsoft and what Ballmer did well. There are those who might say, yeah, he made the transition from Bill Gates, but at the same time, would that transition have been possible if Bill Gates hadn't gone, full humanitarian in his efforts there? I mean, Bill really did walk away from the business at a certain point, and I think part of that was for his own, self-interest, but also part of it to give, Ballmer the room and the space that he needed to have within Microsoft.
Yeah, and I think, Bill saw a bigger calling, and Bill and Melinda both, she deserves some of the credit too, but, they saw a bigger calling, and, and Steve, in the meantime, the consummate sales guy, bled Microsoft and said, no, I'm going to stay here and do this because this is the most interesting and important thing I can do.